feeling you get being a professional football player must be unbelievable. But winning a major trophy as a player for either club or country must be difficult to put into words. Anyone who can make it to the top level dreams of winning iconic trophies and creating a legacy to go along with their career. But sometimes, even for legendary players of the game, certain moments or cup wins slip by and they just missed out on being part of a historic victory with their club or country. Whether it's down to bad timing or bad luck, they weren't able to put their name against a few of these trophies. So if you're new here, welcome to the Bosman Viewing, and this is our 7 amazing players that missed out on a major cup win. So starting off our list, we have Danish legend Michael Ledro. The point in Ledro's career we want to focus on the international front is in and around 1992. Up until this point, since Ledro made his international debut for Denmark in the early 80s, he'd been a standout performer for his country, being the main focal point and playmaker. During this time, he'd also established himself at club level as one of the best players in world football, being an integral part of Barcelona's dream team, winning multiple league titles in the 1992 European Cup. However, during the qualifying campaign with Denmark for the European Championships in 1992, Ledro fell out with then manager Richard Müller-Nielsen and dramatically quit the national team. Even though Denmark failed to qualify for the tournament, Yugoslavia were disqualified from competing due to war in their country, at which point Denmark were handed their spot. With Ledro now no longer part of the squad, Denmark were considered rank outsiders for this competition, but they went on to stun the world and made it all the way to the final, and then beating Germany 2-0 in said final to become European champions, creating one of the biggest surprises in the competition's history. Michael Ledro will always be considered one of Denmark's and world football's greatest players, but this may be one moment he regrets not being a part of. Next up to talk about, we have Spanish icon and elite striker Raul. The time of Raul's career we're going to be looking at is between 2008 to 2010. Raul for years had been Spain's #1 striker and main goal threat, playing in multiple World Cups and European Championships. He was also Real Madrid's top striker, like he had been for many seasons since he's made his debut for the club in 1994. He was considered as one of the most consistent and reliable strikers in world football, so it would make sense for the national side to try and build a system around him. This, however, coupled with a lack of squad depth in the Spain national side at that time, was attributed to the lack of success that they were having in major competitions. With a new, younger generation starting to emerge for Spain, Raul began to feature less and less and was no longer guaranteed a starting place in the national team. Although not officially retired from international football and still playing consistently for Real Madrid, Spain went to the European Championships without him, which at the time was seen as a big risk. For Spain at least, this move paid off. Debuting a new playing philosophy and sticking with a tiki-taka style of play, they became champions. They would then follow up this success by taking largely the same squad to the 2010 World Cup, which they would also win, to become world champions. For all the success Raul had at club level, he must look at this period of his career and wonder how he missed out. Now for our list, we're going to be talking about, in his own words, a lion amongst humans, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Around 2009 to 2010 is a section of Zlatan's career we're going to be checking out, during which he started out as Inter Milan's top striker. This time would also be a highlight moment of his career, as at the end of the 2008-2009 Serie A season, Ibrahimovic finished the season as the league's top goal scorer with 25 goals. This helped Inter win another league title and also led to him being named as both Footballer of the Year and Foreign Footballer of the Year for the second season in a row. Due to his performances at Inter, rumours started to circulate of a big money move for Zlatan, and potentially in search of a Champions League title, this prompted a move to Barcelona, in which Barca paid around £59 million for the player, along with the exchange of Samuel Eto'o to complete the deal. Things started out well at Barcelona for Zlatan, scoring his first 5 league matches. However, this did not last, as then manager Pep Guardiola changed the system they played to accommodate Lionel Messi. This led to a huge bust-up between Guardiola and Zlatan, which ultimately ended their working relationship together in the player's time at Barcelona. As this was all going on, his former club Inter Milan were enjoying some unprecedented success, with major contributions coming from the player who took his place, Samuel Eto'o. Not only were Inter able to win another Serie A title for the 5th consecutive season, they completed the greatest season in the club's history by winning a historic treble, adding the Coppa Italia and the coveted Champions League trophy. They became the first and only Italian club to achieve this feat. I don't think Zlatan lives his life with many regrets, but I wouldn't blame him if he looks back at this as a missed opportunity. To call this next player a legend of football would be a massive understatement. Paolo Maldini. The moment in Maldini's illustrious career we're going to be talking about is in and around 2006. Maldini had been a major part of the Italian national team since he's made his debut in 1988 at 19 years old. Seemingly unfazed by any surroundings he played at international level, he was appointed as captain of Italy after USA 94 and continued to lead his country through multiple European Championships and World Cups. Despite still playing at the highest level for both club and country, Maldini opted to retire from international football at 34 years old. This allowed him to concentrate on club football with AC Milan, who were still competing for major titles every year and trying to prolong his career. Seemingly it made sense at the time, as he was able to win many more trophies with Milan over the next few seasons. At this moment on an international front, Italy approached the 2006 World Cup without him with not much optimism, as the country had been embroiled in a match-fixing scandal at the time. However, Italy were able to pull through this tournament, making it all the way to the final to play France, and ultimately play out a historic final to win the World Cup. It came out later that Maldini had been approached to step out of retirement and been called up to that World Cup squad, which he turned down at the time. During a recent interview, Maldini admitted regret at not accepting that call-up, describing the moment in his own words, "I said no to the call-up in 2006, and they won. It was destiny, I guess." Next on our list we have cult hero and Colombian icon, Carlos Valderrama. The time period of Valderrama's career that we're going to be talking about is the final year he played as a professional player back in 2001. Prior to this, Valderrama was seen as Colombia's greatest player for many years during what was called the golden era of Colombian football in the 90s. Since making his debut for his country in the mid-80s, he went on to appear at 3 different World Cups and 5 Copa Americas, earning 111 international caps in the process. The final appearance he made for Colombia was during France 98. Following a 2-0 defeat to England, Colombia exited the tournament and Valderrama chose to retire from international football at the age of 37. From this point on, he would still continue to play club football, impressing on many occasions in the MLS at the time with both Tampa Bay and the Colorado Rapids. Whilst his country continued without him, their next tournament would be the 2001 Copa America that they were the host nation for. Having never won the tournament, there was not much expected of them, with defending champions Brazil being the heavy favourites. However, the Colombia squad banded together to create history and win the Copa America for the first time on home soil. Not only were they able to win the tournament, they did so without conceding a goal. Even though Valderrama was approaching his 40th birthday at the time of this Copa America, you can't help but think he should have been a part of this victory. Continuing with our list, we have French heartthrob and former Premier League Player of the Year, David Genola. The section of Genola's career that we're going to be focusing on will be between 1993 and 1998. The reason for this gap in time will allow to fully explain what happened to him at international football. During the late 80s and early 90s, David Genola was seen as one of the most promising footballers in France, due to his flamboyant style and skill. This would earn him a big money move to PSG and earn him a call up to the national side. A very low moment for Genola would occur around this time, as in November of 1993, France were playing Bulgaria in a qualifying match for USA 94, and France only required a draw to qualify for the World Cup. With the game level at 1-1, Genola came on as a late substitute and gave the ball away with an overhit kick. Bulgaria collected the ball and launched a counter-attack which resulted in the winning goal. Bulgaria would then qualify for the World Cup at the expense of France, and the blame fell heavily on David Genola. Even the French manager Gerard Houllier described Genola at the time as the assassin of the team. The level of hate and abuse he was subjected to at this time was one of the reasons it would eventually lead to him moving to England and signing for Newcastle. Even though he was still being selected for the national side, he was only being used sparingly as a late substitute and would make his last appearance for France in 1995. At club level though, Genola would continue to shine, often being one of the best players in the Premier League for both Newcastle and Tottenham, even winning the Player of the Year award in the late 90s. France during these years would compete at tournaments without him despite his obvious talent, where they struggled at Euro 96 but managed to forge a fantastic squad for France 98 to win the World Cup as the host nation. It showed the French national side had the squad depth and talent to win without David Genola, but you have to think he must feel hard done by missing out on that piece of history. And the final player we have on our list is R9, better known as Ronaldo. The time period we want to look over for this Brazilian icon is 2007. No doubt during this time, Ronaldo was beginning to suffer the effects of the terrible knee injuries that had plagued many years of his career. Even with these injuries and fitness issues, he managed to be Real Madrid's top goalscorer for 4 full seasons, before new manager Fabio Capello joined the club. A combination of fitness issues and not seeing eye to eye on things led to Ronaldo being left out of the starting 11 and losing his spot to Ruud van Nistelrooy. This led to Ronaldo leaving the club in the January transfer window to join AC Milan. In his first season at Milan, he was able to score 7 goals in 14 appearances, despite his apparent fitness issues. The one trophy that had eluded Ronaldo throughout his illustrious career was the Champions League. What makes this time period of Ronaldo's career so heartbreaking is that due to him playing for Real Madrid in the Champions League prior to his move to Milan, he was then cup-tied and unable to take part in the competition for his new club. This would be the year that AC Milan would go on to win the Champions League for a historic 7th time, for which he was ineligible to be included in that victory. Ronaldo is consistently named as the greatest player to never win the competition, and due to what he had to suffer during his career, this is the moment in football where an exception should have been made for what this legend brought to the beautiful game. We hope you enjoyed the video. This is the Bosman viewing, and if you're new here, you should check out our other football videos on the channel. Is there a player you think we should have included in the list? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, if you could thumbs it up, that'd be great. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.